everyone, my name is Leonie and welcome to another video. Today I'm gonna do a book haul. This was going to be a summer book haul, but I procrastinated filming this video for so long that summer is almost over already. I know summer is the time where you go on holiday, you know, take the plane and go to some kind of other country, something like that. But the great thing about us readers is that we can also visit places through books. So today I'm going to show you all the books that I bought this summer, which also means that I'm going to show you all the places that I can be visiting this summer through books. So the first book that I got is standing right over there. Let's get it. It is... Oh yeah, The Night Court. So the first book that I got is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas, which is the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and this book takes place in The Night Court. So I was kind of neutral on the first book, but I do remember that I was very interested in The Night Court and that I also really liked the character of Rhysand. And in this second book we get to know more about Rhysand's character and about The Night Court. So I am very excited to read this book and learn all about this dark place. If I could choose to live in any court, I would totally choose The Night Court because it just sounds like a wonderful, beautiful place. And now let's move on to the other books that I got, which in fact do not take place in The Night Court, obviously. So we have to go somewhere else. Ooh. Welcome to my pillow fort. I'm wearing a lot of rings, and wearing a lot of rings is the #1 sign that someone possesses magical powers. And that's just about right, because the next 3 books that I have to show you are books that take place in very magical places. The first book that I got is The Girl of Ink and Stars by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. My parents gave this to me as a gift from when they were in England, and they bought it because it looked very magical, and it is indeed a very magical story. It's about a girl named Isabella who lives on an island, and she wants to get out of her city and explore the world just like her father, but no one is allowed to get outside of the city and enter the forbidden territories. But then when her best friend disappears, Isabella and a group of explorers set out to explore the forbidden territories and search for her best friend. I actually made a book review for this with animations where I kind of show the general atmosphere of the book, so if you want to check that out, I will link it on the screen. So not only does this book sound magical, it's also like incredibly magical from the inside. Like, look how beautiful this book is. First off, there's a map, which is very nice, and then at the back of the book there's another map, and I love maps. Every chapter starts so pretty. It looks so beautiful from the inside that when I got this book I just immediately wanted to read it because it was so pretty. So after reading The Girl of Ink and Stars, I really wanted another book that was very magical. So I thought, why not take a look at the other books that the publishing house published. And this is from Chicken House, so I bought another book from Chicken House that sounded very magical, and that was Circus Mirandas by Cassie Beasley. This book is about a boy named Micah whose grandfather is about to die. So Micah sets out to search for the Circus Mirandas, which is a magical circus that only kids who believe in magic can go to. You know, kind of like the Polar Express, you know, that movie that they always play during Christmas? It's kind of like that, but instead of kids who believe in Santa Claus, it's about kids who believe in magic. And he goes to the Circus Mirandas to find the Lightbender, who is an illusionist, and ask the Lightbender to save his grandfather. I don't know how, but Chicken House just makes their books look so pretty. The next book that I got is Baker's Magic by Diana Sawyer. This is another very magical story, and it actually takes place in a country that is kind of inspired by the Netherlands, which is fun because I'm from the Netherlands. It's very magical in the same way that I think The Legend of Zelda is magical. It's very similar to The Legend of Zelda, with just these old wizards and princesses that need to be saved and young heroes. And those were 3 books that I bought that all take place in very magical places. So now we have to move on to somewhere else. There we have it. The next two books that I got are actually two mangas, and they are The Mad Hatter's Late Night Tea Party, which consists of only these two volumes. This is a spin-off series from the main series Alice in the Country of Hearts, which is a manga retelling of Alice in Wonderland. And this spin-off series is all about the romance between Alice and the Mad Hatter. I have been wanting to buy these for such a long time, but I've been putting it off because manga is expensive. But I finally bought it, and I was super excited about these because I just love everything that has to do with Alice in Wonderland. I will read any Alice in Wonderland retelling because I just want to return to the wonderful world that is Wonderland. But unfortunately, time's up and we need to go to the next place where I show you the next books that I got. The next two books take place in very dangerous cities, so we have to be quick. The first book that I got that takes place in a very, very dangerous city is This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. And in this city, every violent act or crime breeds a monster, so the city is overrun by creepy monsters. And in this story, we follow two people. Kate Harker, who's a human girl that wants to be as strong and ruthless as her father, and also August Flynn, who is a monster that just wants to be human. And the next book that I got is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I've been wanting to buy this book for such a long time, but the hardcover is always super expensive and I don't really like the cover for the paperback. But then I walked into the bookstore and I saw this copy and I was like, wow, that's looking very fine. But I was like, nah, you know, books are usually about 20 euros in this bookstore. So I picked it up. And turns out, this book was cheaper than the paperback. You know, I couldn't just leave it there. I think this is the oldest edition of The Diviners, and it's a hardcover without a dust jacket, which I always really like. So The Diviners takes place in New York City during the roaring 20s of the Jazz Age. What I know is that it follows multiple characters in New York at that time. There are supernatural things happening, and there's a murderer on the loose. So altogether, it sounds like it's a very dangerous time to be in New York. And those were the two books that I wanted to show you. Let's quickly go back to my room now. And those were all the books that I bought this summer that I wanted to show you. Please let me know what fictional place are you going to visit by reading books, and I will see you soon in another video. Goodbye!